One of the things that makes Final Fantasy what it is the party. FF8 Seed members, FF7's half Avalanche half Anti-Sephi squad, FF15's Chocobros. Someone shouldn't have to stare down the abyss alone. Having someone watching your back when the things get rough and someone to share in the glory of a job well done is important. The party offers two very distinct effects to a game like Final Fantasy XVI. A way to add to the combat experience of the game and provide more variety, but they also serve as a way to strengthen the connection to key characters and integrate world building, character development, and the plot in a way that feels real to the setting. With the two trailers and a set of screenshots we've seen for the game, one thing does stand out: a lack of notable party members. Even during the combat scenes, we have scenes where there's no HUD or visual indication of allies. I think there are three distinct ways a party could function using what we do know about the game and the series as a whole. I'm going to talk about them from most likely to least likely in my opinion. If you have some other idea that I don't touch on, feel free to mention it in the comments. The three distinct things I see happening here are having non-specific party members like just random dudes who tag in, having the other dominants as allies, and Clive having some sort of ability to leech power off of who's in his party, leading to the comp determining his playstyle, or lastly no party at all and you just have your allies who grant you the power of icons and others you take from with force. All of these would work, but I do think we'd be missing something if we don't get a proper party of interesting personalities and relationships to sift through. With my theory of generic unit party members, I really only have two things that I can classify as evidence. The first is, during the original Awakening trailer, we can see young Clive fighting some goblin-looking enemies in the swamp, and for a split second you can see this guy. Straight funky walking for a split second before Clive dashes, and let me tell you, I've never seen a man embrace the full aesthetic of generic quite like this guy. The other thing that makes me lean in this direction is the combat director Ryota Suzuki. Now I did mention they worked on DMC5, but something just as important to note is they worked on Dragon's Dogma, a game that features companions called pawns who serve as sort of more generic party members, and I think it's not unreasonable to say that line of logic may have influenced FF16's choices of a party system. Maybe in settlements you can recruit sellswords or mercenaries to accompany you in the world. You may not get your Tifa, but you can have Gary Carmichael, the 8th strongest sword arm on the continent. Now, this one is fairly simple. We know each icon should have one dominant, and we got the bios for the dominant of Titan and Garuda. Odds are these sort of people would be the only ones on the same caliber as Clive and make sense of the theming. It would also unite the party of shared trials and tribulations. If, say, each dominant is recruited and you can only have two in your party at a time, it would make sense that you can access their icons of your L2, making your party choice determine how you want to play. For example, Titan could be more important if you want to have a tankier Clive, or Garuda if you want more combo launchers, and either Ifrit or Phoenix would be some sort of default. I generally doubt this is the path the game will take, but there's always a chance, so I guess sort of letting this one be known. Lastly, what I think is going to happen is throughout the story, Clive is going to meet other dominants and gain their trust to allow him access to a portion of their icon's power to help complete his goals. So the icon wheel would most likely be locked behind story progression, or for all we know he could be on his Revengeance arc and forcefully take each icon from their dominant. With that, I'm assuming each icon will have its own skill tree, allowing Clive to focus on what ones he wants to main or prefer fighting with. All in all, I'm sure whatever the party situation looks like, it will be handled well. If you guys have anything to add or just want to let me know which one you think it is, sound off in the comments. I'm going to go back to crying about how long this game is going to have to take to come out. Comment, sub, like, if you like this stuff. I'm going to head out.
Who am I? Kimmy model bitch of the sound 5 with bones, hearted stones, face eyes, suicide. I'll slay a clan, you'll suffer from Sasuke sorrow. Then I'll be gone in a yellow flash like Monado. I go harder than Jugo's fist.